Want to bring in now Tony Chapman. He's a consumer and marketing brand expert joining us now from Toronto. Tony, let's start with the CEO of Uber, Travis Kalanick. Well, CEO no more. What influence did social media reaction have to the fact that he is now being pushed out?
Well, today it's no longer the court of public opinion, it's the court of social opinion. And if you have a boycott coming at you, it's either easily dismissed or it grabs hold. It gets amplified, it gets virality. And that's what Uber was seeing with the hashtag delete Uber. It went from people being upset with the CEO to actually seeing it, business being lost, customers dropping away. And when that happens, when you can feel it in your bottom line and your top line, you take action. And that's what we're seeing today, that he was forced out of that position, and hopefully he'll get somebody in there that can actually calm the storm and get them to focus back on the business of doing business.
Draw a bit of a line for me, if you can, between the difference between the court of opinion, public opinion, and social media, and how one wields more power these days than the other did.
Well, social media is very much built on biases. You tend to get in your feed the things that you want to read, the things that you want to believe. And that's why we're seeing this polarization of society, the have and have-nots, the left and the right, the Republicans and Democrats. And that's really what your social media is. It becomes very biased to your point of view. And so what you get is you get a lot of people on the left that are real anarchists. They don't trust brands anymore. They don't trust organizations anymore. And the second that something happens, in the past, these organizations, in the public opinion, could control it with spin doctors and try to contain the damage. But nowadays, with social media and how fast this thing flies, you drag somebody off an airplane, tens of millions of people see it the next day, and you can lose up to $1 billion in your market cap.
Yeah,
so
anybody.
It's speed that happens, and there's just no way to control it. It's like a wildfire, and when it starts impacting your bottom line, and you realize that this is going to have systematic and long-term damage to your business, you take action.
Yeah, Bill O'Reilly would probably be a good example of that, sort of advertisers dropping him so quickly after he had, decades in the business behind him and had a very strong show.
Yeah, and everybody knew what was going on, and they kind of did the ostrich syndrome that it'll go away, we'll buy people off, we'll pass it over. But when it takes root again in that social media, when there's no walls that you can pick up, there's no moat to create, you have to take action. And even though they've lost one of their most profitable shows, you'd say, well, if their moral compass was set right, shouldn't they have done this a decade ago, 5 years ago? But again, it's putting their feet to the fire, and that's what happens with this what I call digital anarchists, where they really grab onto something and they just relentlessly pound you and amplify it and share it. And a lot of times, not always with facts and science, but very much based on emotion.
Yeah, sentiment definitely seems to win the day there. Tony Chapman, so I've got to leave it there. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.